It was the coldest winter Atlanta had seen in over a decade. Snow blanketed the city like a silent warning, and the streets lay frozen under the weight of the storm. Inside a small old-fashioned diner just off a quiet road, the smell of fresh coffee, sizzling bacon, and warm bread filled the air. The place was cozy, frosted windows, red booths, soft jazz in the background, but the mood was as routine as ever. Tired workers stopped in for coffee. No one noticed much of anything, until she did. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more, and share this with your friends. Where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. We love seeing how far our stories travel. Ruth Daniels, a kind-hearted waitress with tired eyes and a natural smile, noticed the pair before they even stepped inside. A boy, around 10, stood holding the hand of a younger girl, maybe 7. Both wore hoodies and jeans, clean, but clearly worn out from time. The girl's arms were tightly wrapped around her brother's waist. Their shoes were damp, and their eyes hollow with hunger. Ruth's heart tugged. She didn't ask questions. Instead, she waved them in, ignoring the chilly gust that blew through the diner door. "Y'all come in and get warm, all right?" she said gently, guiding them to the booth nearest the heater. She disappeared into the kitchen and came back moments later with a bowl of hot chicken soup and 2 steaming mugs of cocoa. Behind her, the diner's manager, Steve, crossed his arms, watching. "Ruth, you taking orders from ghosts now?" he snapped. "They haven't eaten," Ruth replied, placing the soup in front of the children. "They need food, not questions." "That's not free food," Steve growled. "I'm running a business here." Ruth didn't flinch. "Charge it to my paycheck if it's that deep." Steve clenched his jaw. "One more stunt like this, and you're out." Ruth didn't argue. She just slid a warm bread roll toward the little girl and knelt down. "You two eat slowly. There's more if you want." The boy barely nodded. The girl whispered, "Thank you," before picking up her spoon with shaking hands. No names were exchanged. Ruth didn't need any. She wasn't doing it for attention. She was doing what was right. After the kids had eaten, Ruth packed them extra food in napkins. They disappeared into the snow just as quietly as they came. That night, she walked home on tired legs, her paycheck lighter but her heart full. 18 years passed like pages in a forgotten book. Ruth stayed at that diner through storms and summers, never earning much, never moving up the ladder. Her life was simple, quiet. But that moment never left her. Sometimes, on winter mornings, she'd glance at the door, wondering where those kids had gone. Then one morning, July 29th to be exact, a deep, rumbling sound shook the neighborhood. It wasn't thunder. It wasn't traffic. It was a helicopter. Neighbors ran outside. Curtains were pulled back. Ruth stepped onto her small porch, clutching her robe. A large black helicopter touched down in the empty lot across the street. The door opened, and 2 sharply dressed adults stepped out. A man and a woman. The woman wore a smart, cream-colored coat. The man had on a tailored charcoal suit. They looked powerful, confident, but their eyes softened when they saw her. "Miss Ruth Daniels," the woman called. Ruth blinked, heart racing. "Yes." The man smiled. "You don't remember us, do you?" She stared. Then those eyes. The boy's protective stance. The little girl hiding behind. Older now. Polished. Grown. But unmistakable. The woman's voice trembled. "You fed us once. In a diner. When no one else saw us." Ruth gasped. "My lord. It's you two?" The man nodded. "My name's Jalen. This is my sister, Naomi. That day saved us. We didn't just eat. We felt human again." They told her everything. How after that meal, they were found by a social worker while sleeping behind a fire station. Taken into care. Fostered. Adopted. School wasn't easy, but they pushed. Naomi earned a law degree. Jalen built a tech startup that now served millions. Together, they created a foundation for underprivileged youth. But something always stayed with them, the woman who gave them soup without asking their names. "And now," Naomi said, handing Ruth a folder, "this house? Paid off. Completely. You never have to worry again." Jalen stepped forward. And the diner? We bought it. Steve's out. Fired yesterday. It's being remodeled into a community cafe. Name's already changed. Ruth's voice broke. Changed to what? Miss Ruth's table, Naomi said with a grin. Where no child is ever turned away hungry. Tears poured down Ruth's face. The crowd watching from the street applauded. Phones filmed. Media showed up within the hour. News stations covered the reunion, the transformation of the diner, and the remarkable journey of two orphans who never forgot the kindness of a stranger. In a press interview the next day, Naomi told reporters, "She didn't give us charity. She gave us dignity. And in a world that often forgets people like her, we came back to remember." Ruth, standing between them, said simply, "Kindness don't cost a thing. But it pays back more than you'll ever imagine." That winter, Miss Ruth's table opened its doors. Every Sunday, it served free meals. Donations poured in. Kids from tough neighborhoods found warmth there. Not just in food, but in hope. Moral lesson. Kindness is a seed that grows silently but blooms powerfully. Ruth's story reminds us that the smallest act of compassion, offering a meal, a smile, or a moment of care, can change lives in ways we'll never see. In a world where everyone's rushing past, be the one who stops. You never know what that moment might mean 18 years later.